no doubt the coronavirus has changed the way the world operates. Technology has become central to business operations
and rural
everywhere.
areas. This has major consequences for upcoming businesses.
So our view is that technology will equally do the same thing. We think that a state
Hello everybody and welcome. This is Smart Kasi Vibes and I'm your host Kahana Sulupa. Now should I say hello beloved? Welcome one, welcome all. This is Smart Kasi Vibes and today we're going to be discussing something of interest to me. It's all about the importance of data-driven analytics in the township property sector. Now, we all know that data is not just a bunch of spreadsheets and things like that. It's the raw heartbeat of the world, and this is by Patrick Tucker, which basically leads us to thinking about Proptech in data terms. You see, data-driven analytics is basically the pulse of Proptech, where it offers us insights that go beyond just the numbers. It reveals to us the patterns, the attitudes. It reveals to us the impressions. You've heard of impressions from other platforms that are maybe social as well. So this is what data is capable of. So we're going to explore some of the things that can be achieved through Proptech and data-driven analytics. So we know that to make any decision, you need to have, calculations. And basically, data-driven analytics offers these calculations. It makes data decision-making an art form, as you might like. So it basically helps us to make precise insights or to get information about precise insights and ensure that we make informed choices about whatever we want to do so that our businesses can grow effectively. So in essence, I appreciate the predictive modeling aspect of data-driven analytics because it allows you to use historical data and use it to forecast for future trends.
I just wanted to add that under predictive modeling, you have the proactive approach of predictive maintenance, which anticipates the failure of equipment and uses data and analytics to predict when maintenance should be performed on properties. So this alleviates the stress of property owners from, having to pay for things now. Instead, they could budget for the maintenance because they anticipate when it's going to happen due to the forecasting that data analytics provides.
Right, and so in that way, this tool not only foretells how the market is going to shift, but it also equips you, the property professional, to have insights so that you can have strategic planning around your property. Imagine even for business owners in a small kasi, they're trying to see if they can, optimize their business. Data-driven analytics can basically help them to recognize their foot traffic trends, right? How people behave when they come into their store and how they can position their store to maximize, the space, the use of space in their store to make sure that they increase their returns. So data-driven analytics can basically go into everything like that. And so what we realize is that efficiency is not is not necessarily doing the right things, but efficiency is doing things right? Whereas effectiveness is doing the right things, right? So basically, this is Peter Drucker, by the way, and the idea here is that if you increase efficiency, you basically reduce the cost associated with doing mundane tasks, right? So in data-driven analytics, especially in Proptech, it's about doing things right, not about just doing right things, right? So it's about doing them at an unparalleled efficiency so that you are streamlining the processes and you are propelling the industry forward. Because ultimately, if we have fragmented sections of Proptech that still need, serious help in terms of how they operate, it's not going to work. We need unparalleled efficiency. So if your Proptech solution is efficient, that's what gets it rolling. That's what gets it moving. And the only way you can make it efficient is to employ data-driven analytics. So imagine this. For transactions, for instance, in a marketplace type app, you have a situation where when people check out and they need to now go to the payment gateway, if you can find out what are the behaviors and patterns of people, do people delay on the checkout? Do people not delay? Why do people delay? Why do people not delay? Do people find it an arduous process to keep re-entering their details? Can you simplify that process by automating the details or the entering thereof? So in that way, you are adapting to the dynamic demands of the marketplace app, where you're basically using the data from the behaviors that the people show you to create a better payment gateway system for your property tech app. So basically, the best way to predict the future, one says, is to create it. There's only one way, and that's Peter Drucker again. So data-driven analytics is enabling us to create a future where property tech landscapes evolve with foresight and adaptability, because if you don't adapt, well, the world will leave you behind, and that's the sad reality. But beyond that, there's a social impact, right? So the social impact goes beyond the numbers, and there's a Greek proverb that says society grows when old men plant trees whose shade they know they might never sit in. So in property tech, basically, data-driven analytics is planting the seeds of inclusivity, ensuring that there's shade that benefits all who are in the property tech space. So in this way, we eliminate this whole classism that sometimes occurs with our property sector. We eliminate a whole lot of things that impede progress. One of the examples that this can help is in inclusive housing solutions. So through the transformation of data-driven analytics, we can basically find gaps in the accessibility of property. We can basically find gaps in how people are catered for in communities. We can basically also cater to diverse communities, and it's basically not just about property, it's about weaving a fabric into society where everyone can have a dignified place to call home and can have a dignified way of transacting in the property tech space, because as people move from place to place, they need to have a dignified way of accessing property that is actually working for them. So in these few minutes, I've just uncovered the ins and outs of data-driven analytics and how it's just not a tool, but it's also a key to unlocking the future of the decisions we make, how wisely we make those decisions, and how efficiently we make them, so that society flourishes, right, under this inclusive umbrella. So if you've enjoyed this content and you're curious to learn more about the property tech space, do feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends to tune into Proptech, because I believe it's the future. And if you're wondering where this fits in our township communities, I'll just end it off here. In our townships, we need to inculcate data-driven analytics, because a lot of the decision making that's happening in our township businesses does not have the right amount of information, right? So some of these tools could really go far in building how efficiently people do business in townships, and especially in the Proptech sector. It can also help then improve the livelihoods of people, increase GDP, reduce inflation, all those nice things. So really, data-driven analytics is at the center, beloved. I want it to be at the forefront of how we do business in townships. So how we inculcate it into the townships, that's a conversation that we still need to have. But in terms of what it can do for our societies, I think it has to be pursued. It has to be pursued. So once again, if you've enjoyed the segment and it has given you some curiosity, I appreciate that. That's what I'm here to do, because one of the fundamental principles of achieving success is actually to be curious. So if you are curious about this kind of information, please do continue commenting and tell me what you need to know, what you need me to know, and we'll meet each other on the other side. This is Smart Kasi Vibes, and I was your host, Kahana Sudupane, signing off. Cheers.